Hey everybody, this is a video if you are interested in getting some duck eggs, either from us or somewhere nearby, and you have all these basic questions because you've never eaten a duck egg before. So a few things. Firstly, a duck egg is normally about the size of a large or extra large chicken egg. So most chicken eggs are smaller than this, and most duck eggs are about this size. Of course, sometimes you get a tiny duck egg or a huge chicken egg, and it happens. But for the most part, the size of a duck egg is about a large or extra large chicken egg. So as you're using them in cooking, just account for the size difference. Now, in terms of using them for cooking, the uses are identical to a chicken egg. You can do everything with a duck egg that you can do with a chicken egg. The flavor of these eggs that we have here, so our ducks have this like whole run space that has like grass and plants and bugs and dirt, and like they have full rain, which is great. And I think that is what gives these eggs partially some of their aroma quality. So I have this thing in my head that these taste a little bit minerally or earthy. And so as you're eating these, you might notice that, but I believe that's just because they have full rain and they don't have just like a pure corn-fed diet. Yeah, so in terms of use, you can eat them straight up, just like a cooked egg. You can put them into baked goods. You can, sorry, there's a duck sneezing. You can combine them into things like a quiche. Like really, anything you could do with a chicken egg, you can do with a duck egg. The yolk of a duck egg has a higher fat content than a chicken egg, so it's richer. You'll also notice this if you put them in the fridge. The yolk will become almost like a solid, kind of like if you put an oil into the fridge, it turns solid. So that's information about sort of like size, flavor, and use. In terms of storage and washing, you'll notice when you get fresh eggs that they aren't perfectly cleaned or scrubbed. They have like little bits of schmutz or feather or calcium or whatever. That's totally normal and it's totally fine. I wouldn't like necessarily keep these right by ready to eat food. I would consider them like not ready to eat until you wash them. Usually we keep them out at room temperature just like this. They're perfectly fine at room temperature if you haven't washed them because they come out of the bird with a protective covering. So you can keep these for a couple weeks at room temperature on their own, totally fine. I usually wash them right before I open them just to make sure that none of the schmutz gets into the food. But if you wanted to, you could wash them right away and just keep them in the fridge like a normal batch of eggs from the store. So that's kind of like good to know about storage and washing. Some people are actually allergic to duck eggs, or they have a sensitivity to them. Gets their stomach not feeling so good. And so what I recommend is the first time you eat a duck egg, cook it completely all the way through, especially if you're going to just eat it. Another thing you can do is combine it into something which kind of like lessens the amount or the intensity of eating an entire egg at once. Me personally, I have absolutely no effect from an undercooked egg, from a whole egg, from anything. I do not have a sensitivity or allergy. My wife does. So if she eats one that's undercooked, it hurts her stomach. If she eats too much, if she eats too much, it hurts her stomach too. So, do you mind? So, if you don't know yet if you're allergic or not, take it easy the first time. Have a little bit, have it baked into something, do one of those things, okay? And then in terms of an egg that's gone bad, or like the shelf life of eggs, same shelf life as a chicken egg. I would say a solid couple weeks on a countertop, unwashed, is fine. I also recommend every time you crack an egg open, do it into a little bowl first. And that way you can see if it's a bad egg. If it's got either blood in it, if it doesn't smell right, if it has what we call a meat spot. It's like a little brown, like a dull brown spot in it. Most people wouldn't eat an egg like that. If I were baking with it, if I'm mixing it into something, I'd probably just like take the meat spot out or take the blood part out and eat the rest. Usually it's fine. If it smells good and it looks good, then it's probably fine. So that, and then the last thing I wanted to just talk about these ducks just a little bit. Most of you already know them because they're super famous at this point. We have Muscovy ducks. So it's a particular breed of duck, and they lay one egg a day for about 3 weeks, and then they take a break for a couple weeks, and then they go back to it. And our ducks have full reign of a very generously sized run. They love to eat all of the worms and grubs and bugs and grass that they can get their hands on, and we feed them a supplemental feed made by Mana Pro. I can give you those details if you want, which is for all intents and purposes organic, but is not technically organic. So you can call these organic duck eggs, but yeah. So get out there, try some duck eggs, and enjoy.